What if the biggest obstacle in your life is your mind? A daring question inviting us to look inward, to probe the depths of our psyche. To truly understand the power of the mind, we must recognize its role in shaping our reality. It's the canvas on which we paint our perceptions, the engine that drives our actions, the architect of our triumphs and failures. We can't discuss the formidable power of the mind without mentioning David Goggins. Goggins is a testament to the astonishing feats one can achieve when the mind is harnessed and directed with unwavering focus. He's an embodiment of mental strength, a beacon of resilience shining through the darkest of circumstances. His story is one of grit and determination, of a mind that refused to bow down, that chose to rise time and time again. It's a tale of a man who used his mind as a weapon, not a weakness. Let's delve into the story of David Goggins, the man who conquered his mind to conquer the world. David Goggins, born in 1975, did not have an easy start. Born into a world of adversity, young David was no stranger to hardship. His father, a man whose temperament was as unpredictable as a summer storm, often subjected David and his mother to physical and emotional abuse. This turbulent home environment was David's first encounter with adversity, but it also became the crucible in which his resilience was forged. David's early school years were no less challenging. His struggle with obesity was a constant battle, a war waged on the playgrounds and in the school cafeterias. He was a big kid, the kind who was always picked last for sports. But David wasn't just fighting a physical battle. He was also grappling with learning disabilities that made the classroom as daunting as any battlefield. Yet, despite these struggles, or perhaps because of them, David began to develop a mental toughness that would define him. He realized that he could either let his circumstances define him or he could define himself. And so he chose the latter. He chose to use his obstacles as stepping stones, transforming his struggles into strengths. David's father taught him about cruelty and fear, but from these lessons, David learned courage and resilience. His obesity made him an outsider, but it also instilled in him a sense of determination and a refusal to give up, no matter the odds. His learning disabilities made school a struggle, but they also taught him the value of perseverance and hard work. David Goggins' early life was not an easy one. It was filled with challenges that would have broken a lesser man. But David was not a lesser man. He was a man who chose to rise above his circumstances, to use his struggles as the foundation upon which he would build his extraordinary life. These initial struggles were only the beginning of his journey to becoming the toughest man alive. And as we shall see, David Goggins was just getting started. His story is a testament to the power of the mind and the indomitable spirit of the human will. Stay tuned as we explore the further chapters of his remarkable journey. In his pursuit of self-improvement, Goggins transformed himself completely. He set his sights on one of the most challenging goals imaginable, becoming a Navy SEAL. The journey was far from easy, but he was not deterred. Goggins' relentless determination and tenacity saw him through grueling physical and mental training, and he emerged from the other side not just as a SEAL, but as an ultra-endurance athlete. Goggins didn't stop at becoming a Navy SEAL. He pushed his limits even further, becoming an ultramarathon runner, a triathlete, and an ultra-distance cyclist. He competed in some of the world's toughest endurance events, including the Badwater 135, a 135-mile ultramarathon across the scorching deserts of Death Valley, and the Ultraman World Championships, a 3-day, 320-mile triathlon circling the entire island of Hawaii. But Goggins didn't just compete in these events, he dominated them. His performances were nothing short of extraordinary, defying the limits of human endurance and redefining what's possible. One of Goggins' most remarkable achievements, however, was setting the world record for the most pull-ups in 24 hours. He completed a staggering 4,030 pull-ups, shattering the previous record. This feat of physical strength and endurance was a testament to Goggins' iron will and unyielding determination. Yet, for Goggins, these physical feats were not about accolades or records. They were about pushing his limits, about discovering what he was truly capable of. He believed in the power of the human spirit, in the ability to overcome adversity and to turn obstacles into opportunities. But these physical feats were not the end goal for Goggins. They were merely a means to an end. For Goggins, the true victory was not in the achievement itself, but in the journey. It was about proving to himself and to the world that there are no limits to what we can achieve when we refuse to give up, when we dare to push beyond our perceived boundaries, and when we have the courage to confront our fears and doubts head-on. David Goggins' philosophy is not about physical strength, it's about the power of the mind. This is where the true essence of Goggins' philosophy lies. It's not about how many pounds you can lift or how fast you can run a mile. It's about harnessing the power of your own mind. A key point in his philosophy is mental toughness. Goggins believes that life is a battle that is fought primarily in the mind. It's about pushing through the pain, the fatigue, the self-doubt, and the fear. It's about standing firm in the face of adversity and refusing to back down. This mental toughness, according to Goggins, is the foundation of all success and achievement. Another cornerstone of Goggins' philosophy is the idea of embracing discomfort. In a world where comfort is often sought after, Goggins encourages us to seek discomfort. Why? Because it's in discomfort that we grow. It's in discomfort that we learn about ourselves and what we're truly capable of. It's in discomfort that we break down the barriers that hold us back and unlock our true potential. And then there is the concept of pushing past your perceived limits. Goggins believes that we often limit ourselves, not realizing that we're capable of so much more. He encourages us to push past these self-imposed limitations and to constantly strive for better. It's about not settling for mediocrity, but reaching for greatness. Goggins' philosophy isn't just about physical fitness or achieving worldly success. It's a philosophy of life. It's about cultivating a mindset of resilience, perseverance, and unyielding determination. It's about understanding that the only limits that truly exist are the ones we impose on ourselves. Goggins believes that we all have an untapped reservoir of strength within us waiting to be discovered. So it's time to delve deep within, to push past our perceived limits, to embrace discomfort, and to harness the power of our minds. Because, as Goggins himself says, it's not about the size of the man, but the size of his will. So how can we apply Goggins' philosophy in our own lives? Incorporating Goggins' philosophy into our daily lives begins with setting challenging goals. Now, we're not talking about simple, easily achievable objectives. No, these need to be goals that push you, that make you question whether you can actually achieve them. They need to be so ambitious that they scare you a little. This is where the growth happens, where we begin to realize the power of our minds. But setting goals is only the first step. The real challenge lies in embracing discomfort. Discomfort, you see, is not our enemy. It is our teacher, our guide. It shows us our limits and then pushes us past them. When we feel uncomfortable, that's when we know we're on the right track. It's a sign that we're growing, that we're becoming stronger mentally and physically. And this is where Goggins' philosophy really comes into play. He believes in the 40% rule. According to him, when our minds are telling us that we're done, that we can't go any further, we're actually only 40% done. We still have 60% left in our tank. It's a powerful concept, one that encourages us to constantly push our limits, to go beyond what we think is possible. But remember, this philosophy is not about being reckless or ignoring your body's signals. It's about understanding that our minds often give up before our bodies do. It's about learning to distinguish between true physical limits and mental barriers. And finally, it's about changing the narratives we tell ourselves. We all have stories that we tell ourselves, stories that limit us, that tell us what we can and can't do. But Goggins' philosophy teaches us that we are the authors of our own stories. We have the power to change them, to rewrite them. So set challenging goals, embrace discomfort, push your limits, change your narrative, and watch as you become the best version of yourself. Remember, as Goggins says, the only thing standing between you and your best self are the stories you tell yourself. David Goggins' story is not just about physical feats, it's a testament to the power of the mind. We've journeyed through his early life, marred by adversity, and his incredible achievements as a Navy SEAL and world record holder. His philosophy, born out of his experiences, hinges on the idea that we are capable of so much more than we believe. Goggins' life serves as a reminder that our biggest barriers often reside in our own minds. By silencing the voice of doubt, embracing discomfort, and pushing past perceived limits, we unlock potential we never knew we had. This is not just about running 100 miles or doing thousands of pull-ups. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves, about tapping into our true potential. Remember, the road to self-improvement is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about taking one step at a time, consistently and relentlessly. So what's your excuse? Start your journey to becoming your best self today.